Hi, it's Allie from Inspiralized, and today we're in my kitchen and we are making my meal prep roasted veggie grain bowls. Now you've seen me make these on Instagram. I meal prep my veggies so I can make these healthy veggie bowls all week long. They're kind of like how I stay on my healthy lifestyle and stay committed to eating fresh vegetables all the time. Okay, so let's get started. So I usually work off of 2 sheet pans. I pick 4 different vegetables, usually pretty seasonal. We're about to transition into fall, so I picked cauliflower, Brussels, and sweet potatoes, and then some nice summer green beans. So let's start with the cauliflower. So I'm just gonna pour my cauliflower out onto the sheet pan, and I kinda like to do half and half. So I'll put half cauliflower, and then I'll do half of the sweet potatoes. And I do these 2 together because they have dry seasonings, and the other 2 have wet, so I don't want the wet to get all over the dry, so I like to keep them separate. Try not to overlap too much because then they won't get crispy, they'll be a little soggy. And then I like to cook with olive oil. It's my favorite cooking fat, but if you like to use something else, you can. If you're watching your oil intake, you could try a spray. So put a little drizzle. That probably comes out to about a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons. And then what I do here is I mix all the veggies with my hands to make sure they get coated in the oil. All right, so now that these are out on the pan, now it's time to season. I love curry powder everything, and so does my little baby Luca, so I know that he'll enjoy these too. So what I do is I just take some curry powder and I just season like this. And kind of just make sure all of the cauliflower gets seasoned, and it's okay if a little bit of it gets on the sweet potato. And then I'll just do a kind of a brief toss. And then we're gonna do the sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes, I usually go chili powder for a little kick, or just a simple paprika, just to elevate the sweetness and the flavors in the sweet potato. And now the final step here is just salt and pepper. And now our cauliflower and sweet potato are done. I'm gonna set this aside. So now we're gonna do the Brussels sprouts. And again, you're just gonna pour them onto the sheet pan, and then I'm gonna grab my green beans and pour those out. And just how we did with the cauliflower and sweet potato, we're gonna start with some olive oil. And just like we did before, I'm gonna take the veggies and just toss them so they get coated in the oil. All right, so now that all my veggies are prepped with the olive oil, I'm gonna grab my balsamic vinegar. I use balsamic vinegar on my Brussels sprouts. I love that flavor combination. And what happens is that they get extra crispy in the oven. And then I actually add a little bit of garlic powder as well to those Brussels sprouts, kind of like an Italian flair on a roasted veggie, some garlic and balsamic. And now for the green beans, I use soy sauce. And that's gonna bake into the green beans and infuse them with so much flavor. And now that I have those seasonings, I'm gonna do salt and pepper, but I'm not gonna salt the green beans because they already have soy sauce, and that's a really salty seasoning. Okay, so that's it for the veggies. Now we're just gonna roast these in the oven at 425 for between 20 and 30 minutes, just until they're crisp enough and softened. And while we do that, we're gonna cook our greens. So now that our veggies are in the oven and roasting, we can prepare our greens so that once the veggies are done roasting, the greens will be done, and then we're ready to eat, or put everything in the fridge and meal prep it for the week. For this, you can do either lentils, quinoa, brown rice. I'm gonna show you how to do lentils because I get asked a lot how I do my lentils. I'm gonna start with 1 cup of dried brown lentils. And lentils are cooked in a 3-to-1 ratio. So you wanna do 3 cups of water or broth. And if you do choose to do broth, you can do any type of broth. It just needs liquid to cook the lentils. And then to do a little bit extra flavor, I like to add in a bay leaf. It kind of gives the lentils a stew-like flavor. So now I'm gonna put this over the stove top, bring it to a boil, and once it's boiling, I'll lower to a simmer. I'll let it cook for 15 to 20 minutes or just until those lentils are nice and tender. And once my veggies are done roasting, I'm gonna bring them over to the countertop so I can build my meal prep bowls. All right, so now that we have all of our veggies roasted, we have our grains made, I'm gonna make my own lunch right now, show you exactly how I would plate it. So I'm gonna start with the greens, a nice big scoop of lentils. And then I'm gonna come over here, and usually what I do is I do 2 veggies. So I'll do the cauliflower here, and then I'm gonna go with some Brussels sprouts. So now for my favorite part, I'm gonna take my avocado. So I'll just cube, and for the final finishing touches to the bowl, I'm gonna do my tahini drizzle. People ask me all the time about my tahini drizzle. You can make a tahini dressing if tahini is too strong of a taste or flavor for you. You can mix it with some water and some lemon juice, maybe a little bit of garlic powder. I love just taking it right out of the jar and drizzle all over. So there you have it, my meal prep friendly roast veggie and grain bowls. Again, I love having these all week long for lunches, and what I do here is I put everything in some glassware and I save it in the refrigerator so you can reheat it really easily, but I'm gonna enjoy this one right now. For more healthy recipes like this one, you can go to Inspiralized.com. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you soon.